Welcome to the latest Motley Fool scoreboard. I'm Anand Chokkavelu. We've got longtime fools Toby Bordelon and Matt Frankel giving a 1 to 10 rating to the stadium naming rights enthusiast that also owns a banking platform. It's SoFi, ticker symbol SOFI. Matt Frankel loves this stock, so this will be a good one. We're going to talk about the business, including factors like industry and competition. 10 is invincible. A 1 is hopeless. Toby's got a 7. Love from Matt Frankel only means an 8.
See, I put an 8 because in a lot of ways, the banking business is very commoditized. Things like a savings account, a basic travel credit card, or things like that, or you can get them in 50 different places. On the other hand, there's a lot of consumer pain points in the banking business, and no one has been able to fully solve them yet. Applying for a personal loan was one from a few years ago that was a big pain point that the industry started to solve. But SoFi is really like doing an all-in-one like bank replacement. So I really like that business. But as far as its competition goes, it's competing with some banks that have been around for 200 years. That's both a good thing and a bad thing. So I gave it an 8 for that reason.
Yeah, I went with 7 here for a lot of the reasons Matt noted. This is a very interesting business. There's a ton of potential here. But as you said, Matt, very competitive industry. And to me, SoFi hasn't yet proven that it can stand out from all the rest enough to say that it's going to be a big winner here. It's still early. I like what they're trying to do for sure. They were profitable last year. That's a nice change from not being profitable the prior year, right? Membership is growing at a rapid rate, up to over 10 million now. You love that. They're continuing to add services at a decent rate to kind of attract more customers and expand their reach with existing customers. But you keep going back to the competitive pressure in the industry. So I just can't go higher than a 7 right now.
There are just so many good players in the industry where you're just like, oh, well. And I ended up owning a lot of the newer ones for whatever. Don't know if that's worked out that great for me. Let's talk about management. A 10 is Warren Buffett. A 1 is Homer Simpson. Toby's at a 7. Matt, you're at an 8.
Yeah, Anthony Noto's done a great job of leading the company. He went public in 2021. A lot of people don't realize SoFi didn't become a bank till early 2022 when it acquired a small regional bank, and since then he's grown it from 0 to $27 billion in deposits in 3 years. So it really impressive performance. Toby already kind of mentioned this. They're building out a lot of unique offerings, not just your standard checking account, your standard credit card. On the investment platform, for example, if you want to invest in Kathy Wood's venture fund, SoFi is literally the only place you can do it. They offered the opportunities to invest in a SpaceX investment fund, for everyday investors. They're giving IPO access to everyday investors. Not all brokers do that. That's just one side of the business, but they're doing a great job of building out unique parts of the business that make it different and give people reasons to switch, which has been missing in the fintech industry.
Yeah, 7 for me. I like the team. I like the management team here. Mr. Noto done a great job from expanding the company's offerings from that original kind of lending focus, banking, investing, tech services, right? So he's done a great job with that. CFO Chris Lapointe, at first glance, may look like an interesting choice for his job. He came from Uber, and you think, oh, why is an Uber guy running finance at a bank? But he was in charge of corporate finance and fintech over there, right? So that fits with what SoFi is trying to do. Goldman Sachs pedigree, solid, very solid.
Financials, a 10 is a fortress, a 1 is yikes. Toby's at an 8, and once again, Matt is 1 higher at a 9.
I'm not just adding 1 to Toby's scores, I promise. It's really got great top line momentum and bottom line momentum, which is really a kind of a rare pair in this industry right now. Asset quality is heading in the right direction. Their net charge-off ratio is significantly declined over the past few quarters as they've really focused on loan quality. Top line membership growth grew 34% year over year in the most recent quarter. 2024 was the company's first profitable full year ever. They said they were going to reach profitability by the fourth quarter of 2023. They did it. They deliver on all their financial projections and then some. Profitability, jumped significantly already in the first quarter of 2025 and doesn't look like it's going anywhere anytime soon. So both sides, it's not just that they're growing 34% year over year, but they're throwing a ton of money at the business. They're doing it in a very profitable manner, and it's getting more profitable.
Yeah, 8 for me here. Financials look pretty good. I love that they're not over leveraging to grow as quickly as they are growing. $2 billion in cash versus $3 billion in debt, 18 million in the loans versus the 27 in deposits you see there. Revenue grew 33%. Really nice growth. They've diversified their revenue streams. It gives them a little more stability and robustness, I think, which I think is important for a financial company as small. They're still pretty small here. Financial services and tech segments saw revenue growth of 66% last quarter, right? So you're seeing those additional offerings really start to pick up steam. So good where they are, I think.
Toby, let's move on to valuation. How well will SoFi stock do over the next 5 years? How safe is it? 10's a sure thing, 1's a lottery ticket.
I went with 10 to 15% here on the growth. I expect this one to be a market beater from here, although I don't think it's going to be a massive market beater. Don't expect the growth we saw immediately post IPO, right? I think that was a bit overdone. But the future is quite promising. On safety, I went with a 6. I think there is still a lot of risk, especially because of that intense competition we've talked about there. They're profitable now. You love that, but they could stumble. I don't think it would take much for the market to fall out of love with SoFi again and send the stock back down. So that's why I'm a little hesitant on the safety score here.
That's fair. I said 15% plus over the next 5 years. SoFi has big ambitions and is delivering. Their momentum is fantastic. They've said they want to be a top 10 financial institution. For context, the numbers 9 and 10 are currently Capital One and TD Bank, so that's pretty big. They would need to roughly 10x their assets to get there. They're the 63rd largest bank right now. Just to put that out there. I actually gave a lower safety score than Toby as a 5. Online banking has been around since the 90s. If it was easy to disrupt one of the big banks, somebody would have done it already. It's not a very easy task. 25 years later, after the online banking became kind of well known, it's not a cheap stock. It trades for a higher price to book than most other bank stocks, which could come back to bite it, like as Toby said, if the market falls out of love with it. So it's the risk reward dynamics make a lot of sense, but there is quite a bit of risk.
Topic time. Toby, is there a company you like better than SoFi that's in its space?
It's honestly tough to find one if you're looking for a disruptor that's trying to disrupt the financial system, right? So here's a bit of an unorthodox pick for you. I might consider rocket companies. Post-merger with Redfin and Mr. Cooper is who they have in process right now. Now, they are focused on a different part of the financial markets, for sure, right? They are definitely real estate mortgage focused there. But assuming they can integrate those two deals they've got going on well, I don't think they stop there. I think Dan Gilbert has grand ambitions, and it might be an interesting ride if you're looking for something a little bit different than SoFi.
Yeah, I like Toby's pick. I'm a Redfin shareholder, so I'll become a Rocket shareholder as soon as that deal's done. I think the refinancing opportunity is massive once interest rates fall. Toby and I discussed this the other day already. But SoFi is a top 10 stock for me. It's a stock that I really believe in, management team, business wise. So it's not my largest bank stock. That's Bank of America, but it's one that I bought the most of my portfolio in my own portfolio over the past, say, 3 or 4 years.
Thank you to both Matt and to Toby. They've given SoFi a strong overall score of 7.6 out of 10. It would have gotten to the 8.0 and made me buy it, except for the low safety scores. I own it anyway. Look out for a new scoreboard every market day at 7 p.m. Eastern. Next up is something good, I promise. Till then, Fool on. If SoFi were going to get the naming rights to your child, how much would you have to pay to name your kid SoFi, knowing that they're going to be called Sophie all the time?
I wonder if anyone has.
If they offered $1 million, you got to name your child SoFi. Taking it?
I don't know.
I take it because you can just call her Sophie.
You could do that, but then you get the weird spelling and stuff too. You got to capitalize the F.